Mara had been married to Daniel for 3 years, and in all that time, she had never once questioned the locked door at the end of the hallway.
He called it his study.
He said it was where he handled work, private client files, confidential papers, and she had believed him, because loving someone means trusting the rooms they keep closed. It was a Tuesday when the power went out. The whole neighborhood went dark, and Daniel was somewhere across town at a dinner meeting that had run long. Mara lit candles, tall white ones from their wedding anniversary, and wandered the apartment with a glass of red wine in her hand, restless in the way that only a quiet house can make you feel.
She passed the study.
The power cut had somehow tripped the electronic lock. The door sat slightly ajar, a thin line of amber candlelight falling across the hallway floor like an invitation she hadn't sent herself. Her hand rested on the frame. Her heart, she noticed, was beating very fast.
She pushed the door open.
The first thing she saw were the drawings.
Hundreds of them.
Pinned to corkboards, stacked in neat folders, rolled into tubes and leaning against the walls. Pencil sketches, ink outlines, watercolors that had dried and curled at the edges. And in every single one of them, in every loose line and careful shadow, was her face. Mara sleeping on the couch with a book open on her chest. Mara laughing, her head thrown back, at something only she could remember. Mara standing at the kitchen window in the early morning, mug in both hands, looking at the city below like she was trying to memorize it. Mara crying. She remembered that afternoon, a call from her mother, a small grief she'd thought she'd hidden. But Daniel had seen her, and he had drawn her anyway.
Gently. Honestly.
The wine glass hung loose in her fingers. She set it on the desk before she dropped it. He had been drawing her the entire time.
3 years.
He had been drawing her the entire time. In the center of the old mahogany desk sat a sketchbook, thick, well-loved, its leather cover soft and cracked like an old friend. Mara sat down slowly in his chair, the wood creaking beneath her, and opened it from the beginning. The first page was dated the week after they had met. A coffee shop sketch, her from across the room, profile turned toward a rainy window. She had been reading. She hadn't noticed him watching. She hadn't known then that she was already becoming a subject he couldn't put down. She turned the pages slowly, tracing 3 years like chapters in a book she had lived but never read. Their first date, he'd drawn her reaching across the table to steal a chip off his plate, laughing with her mouth full, unguarded. The night she had worn the blue dress to his friend's wedding and danced with no shoes on. The morning she had cut her hair short and stood in the bathroom mirror, unsure, and he had told her she was beautiful. But here in ink he had written it beneath the sketch in his small careful handwriting, *, she doesn't see what I see. She never has, *. Mara pressed her fingers to her mouth. Outside, rain had started to fall. She almost didn't look at the last page. Part of her wanted to close the book, put it exactly where she found it, go back to the couch in her wine and pretend the door had never opened. The other part of her, the part that had always been braver than she gave herself credit for, turned to the very end.
It was her again. But different.
In this drawing, she was asleep in their bed. The covers pooled around her waist, morning light coming through the curtains, one arm stretched out to the empty side where he'd already gotten up. She looked peaceful in a way she never felt in waking life, fully held, fully safe. Around the margins of the page, in that same small handwriting, he had written a letter.
Not addressed to anyone.
Just words, the kind that tumble out when you think no one is listening. *, I don't know how to tell her what she means to me without it sounding like something from a film she'd laugh at. So I draw her instead.
Every version of her.
The tired one, the laughing one, the sad one, the one she thinks no one notices. I notice all of them. I love all of them.
I'm not sure she knows. I should tell her. Tomorrow, maybe. Or the day after.
I'm still trying to find the right words. *. The date at the top of the page was yesterday. She heard it before she saw him, the familiar click and drag of his key in the front door, the way he always jiggled it slightly to the left. His voice called out from the hallway, easy and unhurried, carrying the warmth of someone who thought everything was the same as he'd left it.
Mara?
The whole street is dark. Did the power go out?
Are you? He stopped in the study doorway.
She was still sitting in his chair, the sketchbook in her lap, the room lit by a single candle she'd moved from the hall.
She hadn't turned the light on. She didn't need it.
For a long moment, Neither of them spoke. She watched his face go through something she'd never seen before, a complete loss of composure, the careful contained man she knew coming entirely undone.
His coat was still on.
He was holding his keys so tightly she could see the tendons in his hand.
Mara, he said. That was all.
Just her name, like a question and an apology at the same time. She looked at him across the room. She looked at the walls covered in her face. She looked back at him. You drew me crying, she said softly. That afternoon in October. I thought you were in the kitchen. He exhaled slowly. I was. And then I wasn't. You wrote that you can't find the right words. He said nothing.
Daniel.
Her voice didn't break.
It surprised her.
How long have you been looking? He came in slowly, still in his coat, and sat on the edge of the old chaise longue against the far wall. The one he'd brought from his first apartment, the one she always teased him about keeping. He laced his fingers together and looked at them for a long moment. I started drawing when I was 19, he said. Portraits, mostly. I was good at faces. But somewhere along the way I stopped. Work got too loud, life got too fast, and I convinced myself I'd outgrown it.
He paused.
Then I met you.
She waited.
The first time I saw you, that coffee shop, the rainy afternoon, I just thought, I need to remember this.
Not photograph it.
Remember it. So I went home and drew you from memory, and I was terrified at how accurate it was. How much I'd already memorized without meaning to.
He looked up.
I kept the room locked because I didn't know what it would sound like. To tell someone you've been drawing their face for 3 years. It sounds like love, she said quietly. He looked at her for a long time.
Yes, he said.
I think that's what it is.
Outside, the rain fell harder.
Inside, the candle between them flickered and held.
Draw me, she said. Right now.
While I'm here.
He blinked. Mara, I want to watch.
I want to see what you see. She stayed in the chair, tucked her feet beneath her, and rested her chin on her hand. I'm not leaving the room.
Draw me.
Something in his face shifted, the last wall coming down. He reached into the desk drawer and pulled out a pencil and a small pad of paper, the kind he kept everywhere, like a person who was always ready to catch the world in lines. He sat back down on the chaise and looked at her. Really looked at her, the way she now understood he always had, and began to draw. She watched his eyes move between her face and the paper. The pencil made a soft whisper against the page. She had always loved his hands, the long, careful fingers, the slight callus along his right index from years of holding a pen. She had never known what those hands were keeping. After 10 minutes, he turned the pad toward her. She stared at herself, not the version she saw in mirrors, which she always found disappointing, but something truer. Softer. A woman sitting in a chair with candle glow on her cheeks, looking at someone she loved. Looking at someone she loved who was looking back. Is that really how you see me? She whispered. That's exactly how I see you, he said. I have never drawn you any other way. The candle burned low. The rain eased to something quieter, more gentle, the kind that falls at the end of things. Daniel set the sketch pad down and crossed the room to her. He crouched in front of the chair, eye level with her, close enough that she could see the slight unevenness of his breath, the way his eyes moved across her face like he was still drawing her even now. I wrote in that book that I couldn't find the right words, he said. I've been thinking about that. About why? He reached up and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, slowly, like he had all the time in the world. I think it's because the right words don't exist in a sentence. They exist in 3 years of waking up and looking at you and thinking, I can't believe this is my life. They exist in every time I've walked past this door and been grateful that I had somewhere to put what I feel for you, because it's too large to just carry around.
He paused. I love you, Mara.
Not the version of you that's always put together.
All of them.
Every room of you. She pressed her forehead against his. Outside, a single street lamp flickered back to life as the power returned, pale orange light falling through the window and mixing with what was left of the candle. Neither of them moved to turn on the overhead lights. You should have told me, she whispered. I know, he said. Tell me more often. Every day, he said. Starting now. In the morning,
She woke before him.
A habit she'd always had, that early hour when the city was still deciding whether to begin, and the bed was warm, and everything felt provisional and possible. She padded down the hallway in socked feet and pushed open the study door. Wide open this time, no hesitation. She stood in the middle of the room in the gray morning light and looked at herself looking back from every wall. 100 versions of her face, all of them loved, all of them seen. She found a blank sheet of paper on the desk. She found a pencil, his pencil, slightly blunt, the one he used most often. She sat down and for the first time in years, she drew something.
It was clumsy. It was earnest.
It was him asleep in their bed, one arm outstretched toward her side. At the bottom, in her own handwriting, larger than his, less careful, more certain, she wrote, *, I see you too. I always have. *. She pinned it to the corkboard beside the first sketch he'd ever made of her. The coffee shop, the rain, the woman who didn't know she was being memorized. When Daniel appeared in the doorway 20 minutes later, still rumpled with sleep, he saw it immediately. She watched his face, the way it opened, the way it changed. He looked at her drawing for a long time.
Then he looked at her.
He smiled, the full one, the real one, the one she had seen in the drawings before she'd known what it meant.
"You left the door open," he said.
She glanced back at it. The hallway behind him was bright with morning light.
"I know," she said.
"I think we can leave it that way now."
He crossed the room. She stood up.
And in the early gray morning, with 100 portraits watching, they held each other the way people hold each other when they have finally stopped hiding the best parts of themselves. Completely, and without any fear at all.